announce that last night around 9 p.m., the suspect in the two bank robberies, one occurring in Cottleville, Missouri, the UMB Bank, which occurred on November 10th, and also the Commerce Bank on Highway K in O'Fallon, Missouri, this past Monday on November 15th, was taken into custody. Standing behind Chief Lewis and I are the team of detectives that worked this case nonstop from the time that the first robbery in Cottleville, and then we joined the effort. The O'Fallon Police Department joined the effort after our robbery Monday. This team of detectives is headed by Lieutenant John Nesky, who is the detective lieutenant for the O'Fallon Police Department. Members of each of the departments, Cottleville and O'Fallon, along with the St. Charles County Sheriff's Office, worked together to bring this case to a successful conclusion with the arrest of the suspect last night. The FBI also was part of this team, and without the work of all of the members of this investigative team, the arrest would not have occurred. The suspect was arrested in O'Fallon, Illinois last night after information was developed from the team of detectives behind me, which led to a possible location in O'Fallon. The O'Fallon, Illinois Police Department, which we're very grateful for, followed up on the investigation per our request, and an arrest was made in their jurisdiction without incident at 9 o'clock. The suspect is now being held in O'Fallon, Illinois, where we're now awaiting extradition information on the suspect. This combined effort was also supported heavily by the St. Charles County Sheriff's Laboratory Division. Without their help and their work, this arrest would not have occurred. I'll now ask Chief Lewis to say a few words also.
Chief, I too want to echo Chief Joachimstaler's comments. We very much appreciate the cooperation that we received from the FBI, the St. Charles County Sheriff's Department, and the O'Fallon Police Department. This was an example of how all the agencies worked together and brought this case to a successful conclusion very quickly. And I appreciate that.
We can open it up for questions now if you'd like.
Chiefs, what were the keys?
What led you to O'Fallon, Illinois? How did the suspect, what was he doing out there, as far as you know?
Excuse me. There was the information developed. You have to understand that for especially for the last 2 days, the investigation was really going hot and heavy. There was information that would be developed through a number of sources that would indicate that the possibility that he was at various locations and they had to be checked out. This was one of many leads that was followed up on.
What was the key piece of evidence that led you to this guy?
Well, as you probably read in the probable cause statement, there was a fingerprint taken in the Cottleville robbery. That definitely led to the possibility that the suspect was involved or was at that location. However, we really have to give credit to not only the employees at the Commerce Bank, but also in Cottleville at the UMB Bank, because this suspect was positively identified through a photo lineup once the information developed that he was a suspect.
Was the fingerprint from the note that he left behind?
There was a number of evidentiary items that was taken. One was the note. I am not completely positive at this point that was the source of the fingerprint, but there was a number of evidentiary items that was checked for fingerprints.
You know, like what other items did he touch on the way through, or?
You understand that when CSI goes in to do a crime scene, they search and probe a number of different areas that that the suspect might have touched. So I'm a little uncomfortable indicating which fingerprint was taken, if there was even more than one taken at that point.
Any indication this guy may be linked to any other robberies in the region?
Well, we're leaving that open, of course. Nothing, everything will be followed up on. At this point, nothing indicates that.
Did you recover the money?
There was a number of evidentiary items, including some currency that has been seized. But to say that money is going to be linked to the bank, it's too early to tell.
Is it fair to say he was being harbored by someone in Illinois?
No, he was alone when he was arrested. So your term harboring, I don't think so. But we are looking into the possibility that there may be other people involved. That's just one of the things. You understand, I've described this as a successful conclusion. This investigation really is really at the beginning, is the preliminary stage. There's a number of things that have to be followed up on. The real successful conclusion will be a conviction in a court of law.
Chief, if you could just speak to, I know you hit it a little bit at the crime lab's work on all this, how vital that was to building this case for you.
Well, over the years, I've been fortunate to see a number of improvements in not only community policing, but also the forensics involved in policing. Nowadays, you can probably count on every case that is successful to be not only good police work, because that's always the basis and basics of an investigation, but any forensics is so important now to a successful